Very good morning, friends. In today's period, we have to start a new chapter, that is hire purchase system. What is the title of that chapter? Hire purchase system. What is the exact meaning of hire purchase system? What is a hire purchase? Hire purchase is an arrangement for buying expensive consumer goods where the buyers make an initial down payment and pays the balance plus interest in installment. It means that here both things are important. Buyer pays the balance plus interest in installment. The term hire purchase is commonly used in United Kingdom and it's more commonly known as an installment plan in the United States. However, there can be difference between the two. With some installment plans, the buyer gets ownership rights as soon as the contract is signed with the seller. With hire purchase agreement, the ownership of the merchandise is not officially transferred to the buyer until all the payments have been made. It means that there is difference between this type, hire purchase and installment system. Okay. Now we have to study hire purchase means the transaction. Try to understand the exact meaning of hire purchase. Hire purchase means a transaction where goods are purchased and sold on the terms. Different terms and conditions are there for the goods of purchasing and selling. Okay, it means that under hire purchase system, transaction is completed, but different terms and conditions are there. Those different terms you have to study here. First term is there, payment will be made in installment. Definitely, the payment will be made in installments. The possession of the goods, is given to the buyer immediately. Try to understand. The possession of the goods is given to the buyer immediately. The property, it means that ownership in the goods remains with the vendor till the last installment is paid. And this is also the term you have to understand. It means that when ownership will be transferred, when ownership will be given there after last installment is paid. Then another term is also there. The seller can repossess the goods in case of default. Try to understand. The seller can repossess the goods in case of default in payment of any installment. And each installment is treated as a higher charges. Till the last installment is paid. This term is also we have to understand. Then we have to study what are the features of hire purchase. What are the features of hire purchase? There are different types of the features of hire purchase. Those features also we have to understand. The first feature is also given there, that is the payment is to be made by the buyer, it means hirer, to the hiree, usually the vendor, in installments over a specified period of time. It means that what is the first feature? The payment is made by the buyer over the specified period of time. This is the first feature. Second feature is also there. The possession of the goods is transferred to the buyer immediately. Try to understand. Possession of the goods definitely is transferred immediately to the buyers. And this feature also we have to study. Then another feature is also given there. The property in the goods. Try to understand. The property in the goods remains with the vendor. It means hiree till the last installment is paid. The ownership passes to the buyer. When he pays all installments. After payment of all installments, ownership can be passed. Okay, and this type of feature also have to understand. Then another feature is also there. The hire or vendor can repurchase the goods in case of default and treat the amount received by the way of installment as a hire charged for the period. It means that if that person is failure to pay remaining installment of the hire purchase at that time whatever may be installment he has paid, those installments and amount of that installment is treated as a higher, okay, and that higher is charged for that period. Then another feature is also there. The installment in hire purchase includes interest. The installments in hire purchase include interest as well as repayments of principal. Okay, this is also a very important point. It means that principal amount is also there and interest is also there, but installment includes principal amount plus interest, and this is also the feature. And the last feature we have to understand, usually the higher charges interest on flat rate. Definitely here flat rate interest system is used. Which system is used? Flat rate interest system. In this way, these are the half dozen features of the hire purchase. Now, what are the advantages of hire purchase system? What are the benefits of hire purchase system? Those advantages also we have to understand. First advantage I have given here, that is hire purchase or leasing allows companies to control and deploy assets without significant drain of working capital. This is the first advantage. Then second advantage is also given there. Fixed rate funding makes budgeting easy. Try to understand. Fixed rate funding makes budgeting easy as the leasee has a clear sight of future or further expenditure. Okay. This is also the advantage. It means that fixed rate funding makes budgeting easy. It means that you can prepare your budget easily because fixed rate is also there and fixed amounts are also charged there. That's why there is no difficulty for preparation of the budget, and this is also the advantage of the hire purchase system. Then another advantage is also there, that is flexibility of repayment structure is available. Try to understand. There is a flexibility, not a rigidity. There is a flexibility of repayment structuring is available to allow for seasonal business. For example, one repayment a year, okay, and to reduce monthly outlet. Okay, it means that one payment also you can make and without any monthly payment. Okay, monthly outlet of factoring in the balloon payment at the end of the term. Definitely such type of a payment is also there. Then another thing also we have to understand, leasing prevents the risk of assets. Leasing prevents the risk of assets value depreciating quickly and provides flexibility to enter into a new contract at the end of the original lease's fixed term. It means that this advantage is also you have to understand. It prevents the risk of assets value. It means that there is a fluctuation in the value of the assets. There is depreciation is also charged, and such type of a risk is also avoided here. Try to understand. And this type of a benefit is also you can get from the HP system, hire purchase system. Then financing asset purchases can be more tax efficient. Try to understand. Such type of financing asset purchases can be more tax efficient than standard term loans due to lease payments being booked as expenses. Although asset depreciation also provides tax benefit, the usable lifetime of the asset, try to understand, the usable lifetime of the asset will vary depending on the assets and on local regulation. Then another benefit is also there, high accessibility of financing for the business. Try to understand. High accessibility of financing for business due to the financing being secured with the leased asset and the asset being owned by the financing company. And this type of advantage also we can get. And the last advantage I would like to explain here, in certain circumstances there is a maintenance included within the terms of the agreement. It means that in HPA agreements also such type of a maintenance is also included, and this is also the another benefit of the HP system. Now another side of the coin we have to study. This is the first side of the coin which we have studied as advantages. Now there are disadvantages also. What type of disadvantages are also there? There are different types of the disadvantages, and those disadvantages also we have to study. First disadvantage is there, total sum of capital payments. Try to understand. total sum of capital payments for hire purchase or leasing will be higher than full payment on the asset purchased. Okay. Then another disadvantage is also there, administrative complexity. Administrative complexity and costs will be greater if any convenient are applied to the arrangement. For example, updates on change of the equipment locations. Then another disadvantage is also there, if the business changes its strategy. If the businesses changes its strategy, at that time it will result in the leased assets no longer being useful. There can be early termination charges or restrictions on subleasing. Okay, this is also the important disadvantage of the hire purchase system. Now, what are the features and characteristics of hire purchase system? Those features also we have to study. First feature I would like to explain here, that is rental payments are paid in installments over the period of the agreement. Try to understand. Rental payment are paid in installments over the period of agreement. This is the first feature. Another feature is also there. Each rental payment is considered as a charge for hiring the asset. This means that if the hirer defaults on the any payment, the seller has all rights to take back the asset. It means that if such person is failure to pay the remaining installment, at that time seller can take back the asset, and this is also the important feature. And whatever may be amount is paid by that person, it is treated as a hire of that asset. Okay, what is treated as hire of that asset? Then another feature also we have to understand, all required terms and conditions. Try to understand, all the required terms and conditions between both the parties involved are documented in contract called hire purchase agreement. Those are called hire purchase agreement. Then another feature is also there, the frequency of the installments. The frequency of the installments may be annual. The frequency of the installments may be annual, half yearly, quarterly, monthly, etc., according to the terms of the agreement. And this feature also have to study. Then another feature is also there, assets are instantly delivered to the hirer. Try to understand, assets are instantly delivered to the hirer as soon as the agreement is signed. It means that quickly such type of assets are delivered immediately after making these signatures. Okay. Then another feature also, another characteristic also we have to understand, that is if the hirer uses the option to purchase, the assets are passed to him after the last installment is paid. Try to understand, very important point is there. If hirer uses the option to purchase it, the assets are passed to him after the last installment is paid. It means that after payment of the last installment, such type of assets are passed. Okay. Then another feature is also there. However, once the hirer returns the assets, he cannot claim back the repayment already. Okay. However, once the hirer returns the asset, he cannot claim back any payments already paid, as they are the charges towards the hire and use of the asset. In this way, this feature also we have to understand here. Then another feature is also there, the hirer cannot pledge, sell or mortgage the assets, as he is not the owner of the asset till the last payment is made. It means that after making last payment, he can do anything. Before making the last payment, he cannot sell, he cannot pledge, or he cannot mortgage that asset. Okay. And this feature also have to understand. Another feature is also there, the hirer usually pays a certain amount. The hirer usually pays a certain amount as an initial deposit or down payment while signing the agreement. And the last feature is also there, generally the hirer can terminate the hire purchase agreement anytime. The hirer can terminate the hire purchase agreement anytime before the ownership rights passed to him. In this way, these are the important features of the hire purchase. Now, what is the difference between leasing and hire purchase? Such type of decision you can take from this discussion also. Okay, after studying the difference between the leasing and hire purchase, you can select proper alternative from these. Okay, now first we have to understand the difference in case of ownership. What about ownership in leasing? Leaser is the owner until the end of the agreement. Try to understand. In case of leasing, leaser is the owner until the end of the agreement. And what about in hire purchase? In hire purchase system, hirer has the option of purchasing the asset at the end of the agreement. Already I told you, at the end of the agreement there will be the option for purchasing that asset, and if he is ready to purchase he can. Okay, no problem will be there. And this is also the difference between the leasing and hire purchase. Now duration. In case of leasing, done for longer duration. Okay, it means that leasing is done for longer duration and hire purchase is done for shorter duration. It means that in case of leasing, longer duration is there, and in case of hire purchase, shorter duration is also there. Then what about depreciation? Leaser claims the depreciation. Leaser claims depreciation, and in case of hire purchase, hirer claims the depreciation. Okay. Then payment. In case of payment, also we can explain the depreciation. Difference between these leasing and hire purchase. In case of payment, rental payments are the cost of using the assets. In case of leasing, rental payments are the cost of using the assets. It means that whatever may be rent is decided there, that payment you have to make, and that payment is treated as a cost of using that asset. And in case of hire purchase, payments includes the principal amount and effective interest for the duration of the agreement. In case of hire purchase, this is the difference. Then tax impact also we have to study. What is the tax impact in case of the leasing? In case of the lease, rental categorized as expenditure by the leasee, and in case of hire purchase, only interest component is categorized as expenditure by the hirer. Okay, and this is also the difference in case of the tax impact. Now the extent of the financing. What about extent of financing? Complete financing is there in case of leasing, and in case of hire purchase, partial financing is also there, and this is also the difference. And the last point we have to study here about the difference: repairs and maintenance. The responsibility of the repairs and maintenance is of the leasee in the financial lease and of the leaser in the operating lease. Try to understand. And in case of hire purchase, the responsibility of the repairs and maintenance is of the hirer. In this way, with the help of these points, we can explain the difference between leasing and hire purchase also. Try to understand. Very simple things are there. Then, hire purchase is suitable for which type of business? Try to understand. In case of small companies, and entrepreneurs can be benefited from the hire purchase. Okay, expensive and important assets can be hired. And later owned. This ensures that they can start using the assets from very first day and use the money earned to later buy the same asset. Okay, it means that in case of such type of hire purchase, it is ensured that they can start using the assets from very first day and use money earned to later buy the same asset. This is also important point you should have to understand. It means that which type of a business can use the hire purchase system, and hire purchase system is also best suitable for such type of organization. In this way, we have studied the information of hire purchase system. Okay, and after completion of this hire purchase system, definitely you will select whatever maybe leasing is beneficial, or hire purchase is also beneficial. You can take decision about it. Okay. If any difficulty will be there, you can contact me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.